Hi guys and welcome back. So this is the third time I'm filming this video and I hope it is the last because I am sick and tired of saying the same words over and over again. But today's video is going to be a big haul on the Priceline 40% off sale plus a few other things I've picked up along the way. So I'm going to start with the things that are not the Priceline haul related and then I will move on to that stuff. But if you guys are interested, then here we go. Also, I just want to apologise for my bed being a mess. Today's my actual first full day off of work. My shifts the past week have been like 8 and 9 hours long, and so I haven't had time to do anything. So once I finish this video, I'm going to like fully strip my bed and like deep clean my room. So I do apologise for my bed not being made, but like I've just pulled it back so it looks a bit neater, but I wasn't fully making my bed when I'm just going to take the sheets off it soon. So apologies for that. There's a few things I picked up at Kmart, and two of them are e.l.f. products. The first one is the contouring blush and bronzing powder in Fiji, which is the matte version. For years they have only kept, I think it was St. Lucia, which is the shimmery version, in our stores. I don't really like buying stuff online if I can go in store to find something. We have a huge range of e.l.f. products at Kmart, but this duo, they only ever kept the St. Lucia one for years, and now I used to have that, and the blush was okay. I didn't really like the colour. It wasn't the colour, it was just a bit too dry for what I used, but the bronzer was a nice colour. I just did not like the fact it was so shimmery. So when I saw they finally had the matte version, I just grabbed it. I think this was like $10, $12, $13, something like that. So it wasn't that pricey, but I just grabbed it because I really liked it. The other one, the colours were nice. I just didn't like the fact it was shimmery. And looking at the colours in the pans, I feel like this would be a really nice one. This type of blush is probably something I've got already in blushes, but I just know I will use this colour. Like if I take this with me, this blush is not going to be a colour I won't use. And this bronzer actually looks really nice. Almost like a dupe for my Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil. And the other thing is another bronzer, because I've really been wanting to try more bronzers lately, because I know a lot of them are not necessarily colours that are suited to me. I'm just using them because I bought them while I'm waiting to find one that's nice. So I did buy the primer infused bronzer. I've heard so many good things about this primer infused range. The stuff's only $10. I believe this is the colour Forever Sunkissed. Kathleen Lights, really this is the reason why I bought this. If this is a nice formula, I will possibly buy all the blushes as well. Also at Kmart, I just grabbed a small round hairbrush. Now, I also went to Mecca Maxima, not to buy anything super expensive, but I did get the Juno & Co. microfiber sponge. This is the pink one. I did ask them, is there a difference between the rose colour and the blue, and they said there wasn't, but they only had the pink one in stock. I personally don't care. I don't have a colour preference. I just wanted to know if there's the difference. I am planning on doing like a battle of the sponges video, and I have my list of things of ones that I want to use. So this time, it's still going to take me another month or two, you know, once I try these out, and there's one more that I want to buy. It's still going to take me a bit, you know, another month or more to get them all ready. But if they don't come onto this video, don't worry, I will plan doing another one in the future. So the jewelry store that I go to called Colette, my local store, is permanently closing. So to get rid of all their stock, they had everything tonight. Currently when I'm filming this, it is the 15th of March. I don't know when this video will be uploaded, but it's the 15th of March. And currently today is their last day of trading, Sunday the 15th of March. So today's their last day of trading. Tonight when they close their doors is the last time they will have, you know, the last time they'll close their doors. So they were trying to get rid of all their stock in the store, and I kid you not, everything was like $1, $2. I'm going to show you the stuff that I got. Everything in here I got for $7 total. $7 total. Normally this probably would have cost me about, I want to say, $50 to $60. This morning I went and found this 3 ring set. Look at them. Aren't they just gorgeous? I absolutely love rings. I could have an entire collection of rings. I couldn't give a damn about changing my earrings. Sometimes every now and then I'll take these out and put some studs in, but I have to take 2 sets of my earrings out for work because I got 3 each side. I have to take 2 sets of my earrings out for work, and then often when I come home I forget. Or if I'm doing like a few long shifts several days in a row, I just will leave them out because my holes have yet to actually close up. Although my bottom ones have shrunk quite a bit because I had them, they were stretched so bad from me like pulling on my ears and turning the earrings. Whatever. I could just literally collect rings. I could have like an entire basket of rings and I'd be like happy. But these ones are so nice. And regardless if the store was closing down or not, if these were on sale, they would have been great. These are normally $13. And I'm pretty sure I got these for $1. I also picked up this one that has this big yellowy stone in the middle because I just fell in love with this one. This one was normally $13 as well. I normally wear my signet ring on my right hand at all times, and then I will put like my big chunky decorative rings on like my left hand. But I just like the colour, the yellow one of this one. I also grabbed these other 2 rings. I'll put these ones on my hands to show you just so it's a bit easier. But I got this one, which is a teardrop shape with little silver diamantes around the outside and then a dark blue sapphire stone in the middle. This was the first thing I picked up. I fell in love with this. Not many of my silver rings have actual coloured stones in them. This signet ring does, but I like wear it every day, and the stone is so small. You'd look at it. Oh, it's kind of faded now, but it's kind of from a distance, you don't know if it's blue or not. But I just fell in love with this because a lot of my silver rings are actually very like everyday, and this one's like a little bit more dress up. And then this one's a bit more everyday. I don't have just a plain gold ring. All my other gold rings, even the ones I've just bought, all have coloured stones in them, but sometimes I want just gold jewellery. I don't want ones that have coloured stones. You know, one of my rings has teal aqua stones. I don't always want teal and aqua with gold. So I found this one that looks like it's a braid. This one actually probably is better to go on that finger, but it looks like a braid. So it's just a normal everyday gold band, but it's just got like texture to it because it looks like it's braided, so I really like that one too. And last but not least, Colette actually sold a few items of makeup. They had like 3 or 4 eyeshadow quads, a blush, a bronzer, but they had a nice range of like lip products. I was not interested in their liquid lipsticks, which came in these same colours, but I did buy 3 lip glosses. I got these each for like $1. This one's the one I grabbed first because I really liked it. These were normally $5 each, so it's just called luminous lip glosses. They're just in squeezy tubes. I have no idea what these are like, if they're pigmented, if they're nice at all. I don't know anyone who's tried these, but they just look really nice. They got Colette Hayman on them because that's the name, you know. This is Colette by Colette Hayman, if that makes sense. That's what the brand actually is. So this one's called Calabasas, which is like a nice light nude. I can't wait to try this shade. And these other 2 I will definitely wear. This one is kind of like that My Lips But Better colour, and this one is called Hidden Hills. And then this one is like that nice raspberry shade, and I don't actually think I have a lip gloss in this shade. And this one's called West Hollywood. So I just ended up grabbing these because they were like $1 each, and I thought, why not? Okay, so now when I say there's a lot of items from the Priceline sale, I mean there's like a lot. The past few years have not had the opportunity or the financial reasons to be able to go and purchase things. And this year I know I was saying about how I have my car loan, and not my car loan, my registration and everything, but I do have a second account for like spending money, and I keep raising the amount that's in there, so that's why I went ham. Anyway, I did grab the Real Techniques makeup sponge. This was on sale for like still $11 or like $12. These are normally $18, $19, which is like still astounding to me because I'd rather spend like an extra $10 and get a beauty blender, if that makes sense. That's kind of why I've never bought one of these, but I really want to do that like sponge comparison video, so I just picked one up just to see what it's like. This is the Miracle Complexion Sponge for foundation and BB cream. I did grab a pair of Ardell Demi Wispies just because I really want to see what these are all about. The day that I went, plus a few days beforehand, on Twitter I had seen Christy from Raw Beauty Beauty Christie really recommending these Ardell Demi Wispies to a few people. She had like a few people asking her like what her favorite affordable lashes were, and I'd seen that she really recommended these. These ones come with a little lash glue, which is actually good because I don't think I actually bought any glue, and I don't know if I have any. I need to buy some glue. That's another thing I meant to pick up while I was there, but I never did. I ended up grabbing the L'Oreal Infallible More Than Concealer because this is like one of those jumbo full coverage concealers that, you know, brands have been releasing lately, and I've tried the e.l.f. one, I've tried the Makeup Revolution one, and I thought, you know, just add this one to the list. I've heard a few people say this is quite nice and, you know, comparable to the others, and I don't really buy L'Oreal or Revlon or anything, so I thought while it was on sale, like, why not? To go with that, I also did pick up the Infallible 24-Hour Matte Cover Foundation. This basically is like, I don't want to say a reformulation, but like a relaunch of just their normal 24-hour Infallible Matte Foundation. I do actually have it in my drawer back there in the shade 11 Vanilla, which is their original lightest shade. I noticed in the past few months they did actually release another lighter shade, but I just never bought it. And then all of a sudden they got rid of all those ones and bought this in. So I think this is like the new version of it. And this one actually comes in my shade. So this is the shade 110 Vanilla Rose, or Rose Vanilla, whatever. So this one is actually in my shade, and this is supposed to be full coverage. I grabbed the Makeup Revolution highlighter reloaded. This is the color Just My Type, and I absolutely cannot wait to use this. It looks like that typical, I just want to say, peachy skin tone shade. Like, that's the only way I can describe it, and it just looks absolutely beautiful. If I like this one, I may actually go later on and start and repurchase the rest of these, because it just looking at it in the pan, it looks like one I'm going to like. To go along with that, I also did pick up the Maybelline Master Chrome Highlighter. This one is in Rose Gold, or Molten Rose Gold, sorry. I have the Molten Gold shade, but it is so dark. There are apparently people my skin tone that can use it, but when I apply it, and I have tried it with several different brushes that are perfectly clean, but when I apply it, it is so dark and I just can't use it. So I do use it when I am self-tan, but it's just, the gold one is just so dark. But I was so pleased to see they have a rose gold shade. I have here the Australis Sweet Like Chocolate Scented Bronzer. Honestly, I don't even really know why I grabbed this, but I again have really been wanting to try more bronzers to finally find one that's nice for me. So this one is, they've released a couple of scented things. So they have the chocolate bronzer, they brought out a blush that I think is strawberry and cream scent. They have things like their banana powder and their strawberry under eye powder, but they're not a part of the scented range. But this just looks like a nice rich shade. Even if this is slightly too dark, if I'm looking for a bit more of an intense bronze look, I might be able to just grab like my Duo Fiber brush and just like brush that on very lightly instead, as opposed to, you know, having a deep full-on bronze look. There are a few things that are backups of my favorite products. So the Maybelline Matte Maker Powder in Classic Ivory is one of them. This is one of my favorite powders, as is the Australis Fresh and Flawless Powder in the shade Light Beige. I always will buy a few backups of my favorite face powders in the 40% off sale, because, or when anything's on like a big sale, because I go through so much powder. I almost refuse to buy high-end powders just because I go through it so much. Not only do we now have Makeup Revolution, we have their side brand I Love Revolution, and this is the Glowing Hearts Goddess of Faith Triple Baked Highlighter. I believe this is the highlighter that Taylor from the Taylor Wynn, as she's called now, was really into a few years ago, and she seemed, the products that work for her in terms of highlighters and bronzers and things like that tend to really work for me. I have really oily skin, so, and she's had drier skin, so obviously, you know, foundations and stuff mightn't work, but she's got like texture. Excuse me, I've kind of got the hiccups. But she's got like textured skin, and I've got like a couple of like weird texture bits up there. So I thought, you know, this might be really nice. I don't have that in-between subtle highlighter, so I've got a couple of the Hourglass highlighters, which to me are not highlighters. I just put them on when I want like nice, naturally glowy looking skin, but then all my other highlighters are like highlighters where they're like glowy and metallic and intense. So I don't kind of have one that's like in the middle, and I think this is kind of in the middle. So I just grabbed it because I saw it and I thought, well, Taylor likes it, so I probably will. So I did kind of go ham on the powders just because I go through so much powder, and there's also so many that I wanted to try. But I did also end up grabbing the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless in the shade 110. This is such a good powder, but I only had it in my tan shade. Like, can you believe that? I only had it in my tan shade, and I didn't really actually think that this powder would make much of a difference to the foundation. I've got the concealer and the foundation, and I thought they're great, but they work with any powder. And it wasn't until I went and bought the powder and the foundation when I was like needing a self-tan shade that I realized how much this powder actually, like, all powders work with it, with the foundation, but this just works with it on such an ultimate level. I have to say this, because I always thought, oh, the foundation's not that like poreless on me. Maybe my pores are just too big or something like that. Maybe it's just me, my application method, whatever. But it wasn't until I grabbed this powder that I realized that this powder like brings it to the next level amazing. Truly makes it that matte and poreless, smooth, airbrushed look. I also grabbed the Fit Me Loose powder because I've heard so many amazing things about this. I did grab it in the shade 10 Fair Light, which was the lightest shade that they had there. The next shade down was probably, in terms of how light or dark it is, better, but it was so pink. So I did grab this one. I know people like this for baking. I know people like this for setting the face. And again, I just grabbed it because I really, really want to try it. I'll just go through the last two powders and then I will show you guys everything else that I have. So I also grabbed the Makeup Revolution, just their face powder. This is called the Matte Base Powder. This is in the shade number 1 or P1, whatever, the lightest shade. It's probably powder 1 because the concealer and foundations are C and F. So I just grabbed the powder because I have the foundation and I have the concealer. And the Maybelline Fit Me powder, when I bought that, it really made me realize how much, like, you know, brands don't just release a foundation, a concealer, and a powder in the same line. Strange. I mean, like the Australis Fresh and Flawless, I have all three of them. The Maybelline Fit Me, I have all three of them. And it wasn't until I actually bought the Maybelline Fit Me range that I realized, like, yes, buying all three in the same range really does make a difference because they are actually made for each other. And although most powders work with the Makeup Revolution foundation, again, I still thought I will grab this and try it. You never know, it might even just be a great powder overall. And then the last powder I ended up grabbing was just the Savvy by Designer Brands translucent powder. I've actually used this powder before in like the actual skin tone shades. I just didn't grab it again because I had so many powders, I just didn't want to. But I really can't find a nice powder that I like under my eyes. I need to set my concealer because if I set my foundation but not my concealer, everything goes to shit. But my concealers, even though things like the Makeup Revolution one and the e.l.f. one, some people don't set, I still get that tacky feeling, and because I wear glasses and everything, I need to set it. So I just grabbed this one, the translucent shade, to see if it'll work under my eyes. Okay, so all the powders are out of the way. I always stock up big on powder because I just go through so much. I've got two mascaras here. One of them is the L'Oreal Voluminous Million Lashes in Extra Black. This is still a really nice mascara, but it's been years since I tried it. And the last one I bought was like brown, I think. And I was like, I want to say 16, 17 maybe. Then I also grabbed the CoverGirl Exhibitionist Mascara because I've heard so many good things about this and people loving it. I wanted to grab the L'Oreal Lash Paradise one, but they only had the waterproof one left, and I don't want to wear waterproof unless I like have to. I always try the non-waterproof version first, but I would have got that, but also it was still, even though it was on the sale, it wasn't on the clearance sale, so it was still like $15 or something, because L'Oreal stuff's expensive. But I grabbed the Exhibitionist one. I also don't like to stockpile too much on mascara because then sometimes when some of them sit in the drawer for too long, once I open it, they dry out so quick, so I only bought a few. Okay, so there's these Makeup Revolution London. There's the Nudes collection. Now, one of these says nude lip gloss and the other one says nude matte lip gloss. So I don't know if some of them are meant to be lip glosses and then the other ones are meant to be like liquid lipsticks. I don't know. But they had these like nudes collection lip products for like $3. So they had this one, which is supposed to be the matte lip gloss, in the shade Undressed, and it's like I want to say like a peachy nude. And then there's this one, which I actually really like. This is just supposed to be the normal lip gloss, and this is like a cool toned grey colour. I could have sworn I bought three. Maybe I only grabbed two, but I can't find the third one in my drawer and I haven't put anything anywhere else. So maybe I only got the two, but really want to try these, particularly that grey colour. Like, I actually really like the cooler tone nudes on me, because most of my lipsticks and things like that are really warm. I did pick up as a backup my Australis Colour Click Colour Correcting Concealer because I use this all the time. This was actually just in the clearance bin because they had some things hanging up on clearance, some were in a bin. It was kind of strange. But this is the Natural Glamour Anti-Aging Foundation. I grabbed this for $10. It is an anti-aging foundation, probably a bit too much for me, but it's free from talc, mineral oil and fragrance. And sometimes my face gets really flared up, not necessarily breaking out, but my skin just gets itchy, but also not allergic reaction type. My face just gets irritated really easy, particularly sometimes in the first few weeks after I get my contraceptive injection. My skin will break out like really bad everywhere and it'll just flare up everything in the middle of them. So I thought this might actually be like a slightly less non-irritating foundation. Also, I just grabbed it because I really want to try foundations and stuff like that. So I just grabbed it because I wanted to. I grabbed another Makeup Revolution Reloaded palette because I wasn't going to, but I thought I've been saying for so long that I want to buy more of them, and I've only got two. And like when these were on for $5, why would I not grab one? Like at least one. Most of the ones that I wanted were sold out, so that's why I didn't grab too many of them. This one is in Iconic Fever. Glare from my window will be too much on this. So yep, this one is in Iconic Fever. I also have Division, and I think the other one's called Tea Rose or something. This one's just like warm, everyday neutrals. A lot more matte shades, which is another reason why I grabbed this one, because my other palettes don't have too many. The Division one does, but they're also kind of colours, like not neutrals. So this one has a lot more of those like berry tones and stuff like that, which are fantastic for my green eyes. I really like these two, and I also wanted to test this one out a little bit because I want to plan on doing like a wedding makeup video one day, because I think I've grabbed enough things that actually work really nicely for wedding makeup, although I know I am no expert. And last but not least, I got 3 lip liners because most of my lip liners are from Wish. I have a few from Colourpop, but I also now want to start and get like ones that have actual names and colours, so you guys can go out and buy them. And also because some of my lip liners are starting to get quite old and like a bit gross. But I grabbed 2 from Maybelline in the, what range is this? The Colour Sensational Shaping Lip Liner. So I got the first one in Nude Whisper. I know Taylor from the Taylor and Taylor Wynn has been raving about this one for so long, and the colour looks to be like on the lid. If it turns out to be this colour, I'm going to be so happy. If it is still slightly too warm, I thought it might be a great option for me to put a tiny bit of this over the top, you know, mix them in together. But I really just wanted to try these. Lip liners is one thing I really never thought about. I just wanted to grab a few things that, like, normally when I do these kinds of hauls, I just go ham on foundations, powders, eyeshadow palettes, and things like that. But I just wanted to grab a few out of the box things for me. And this other one is called Gone Greige, which is a little bit more of a like real cool toned. So I thought, again, if it is too cool toned, because I'd already grabbed these, I can kind of mix these two together. Or I've got other lipsticks as well, which are really warm toned, like my Colourpop Appy one. Might be able to put this underneath, put a little bit of that Colourpop one on, and it might make it look a bit more neutral. But I always like to have a cool toned, like nudie lip liner in my collection. And the last product is a lip liner from Australis, because I wanted to try their lip liners because they actually have some really nice colours, and I like using Australis because they're cruelty free and vegan and like readily available. And their black eyeliner was like the worst eyeliner I've ever used, but their white one is my absolute favourite considering they're like the same range. But I just grabbed this one lip liner. This one's in the shade Misbehave, and this is supposed to be like a rosy mauvey nude. If it turns out again like this colour, I know I'm going to love it. I have a few lipsticks and products I know to pair with this. Okay guys, if you made it through this entire video, please give me a big huge thumbs up, because I didn't think I'd make it through this whole video. But social media sites and everything will be linked down below. Please hit the subscribe button that's down there as well. And other than that, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!